I don't know, what do you think? Do you think I can do this all in one just long, giant take? I don't have that confidence in myself. 1917, released in 2019 and is directed by Sam Mendes, who has also directed such films like American Beauty, Road to Perdition, Revolutionary Road, and Skyfall. And this film is starring George McKay, Dean Charles Chapman, Mark Strong, Andrew Scott, Richard Madden, Colin Firth, and Benedict Cumberbatch. And this film was a big hit at the Oscars. It received 10 Academy Award nominations, winning 3 in Best Cinematography, Best Visual Effects, and Best Sound Mixing. The year is 1917. Huh, I'm just putting those two together. Wow. I think that deserves a couple of Owen Wilson wows. Wow. 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 And the British and German soldiers have been at a stalemate over no man's land. However, the Germans seem to be on the retreat, which is why Colonel Mackenzie is planning on attacking the retreating Germans the next morning. But what he doesn't know is that the Germans have been planning this for months, and the British army is walking into a trap. So it's up to 2 British soldiers to deliver a message to Colonel Mackenzie, ordering him to stop the attack before all of his men are massacred. So this film, to me, is the definition of why we have films. This is the definition of why we have plays, why we have novels. This is why we tell stories. This film was dedicated to Sam Mendes' grandfather, who was a novelist who did tell fictional stories, and would tell Sam Mendes as a kid some World War I stories. A grandson sitting on the knee of a grandfather, listening to his grandfather tell these fantastical stories, or real-life stories. We're not sure if this specific story is true. We do know that the strategy of the Germans and the battle that this film is based on, that actually did happen. But the 2 soldiers attempting to deliver a message to the colonel to save the lives of 1,600 men, I guess that's contested amongst historians. There's no evidence that these 2 people actually exist, apparently. But all of that aside, just the idea of a grandson listening to his grandfather tell stories. That's why narrative exists. That's why film exists. That's why books exist. It's to share stories. And whether it's fictional or non-fictional, it's a part of the person telling the story. It's a branch of themselves. It's an extension of themselves. Sharing that and passing that down onto generations, or passing that amongst a society, amongst a culture. You're sharing yourself with the world, and I think that's where we need to focus on this the most. Regardless of if these 2 soldiers actually did exist and the story actually did happen, the main thing to focus on is that this is a story told by a grandfather to his grandson, and I think that is beautiful. The only thing I think that is probably more beautiful than that concept would be the cinematography of probably the greatest cinematographer ever in the history of film, and that's Roger Deakins. This film is best known for being shot, or at least appearing like it's being shot in one continuous shot. Well, actually 2 different shots. There's a moment in here where it blacks out, and then our lead character, they wake up, and then they continue on their journey. But it's about 2 hours long, and it appears like it's in 2 takes. It's cinematography at its masterclass. It doesn't get any better than this. It's almost 100% completely seamless. If you're not big into the technical aspects of films, if you just go to the movies, or if you just rent movies just to have a good time, then the little breaks and the moments in the shooting, you probably didn't even notice it, and it all appears to be one giant take to you. I had a sense of, okay, this is where the track ran out, or this is where things kind of reset itself. Maybe something would pass in front of the camera very briefly, or if the camera would pan to the right or to the left very quickly. In my mind, that's where I'm thinking, okay, they probably reset and then continued on these long takes. And I'm not bashing the film at all for that. Please don't get me wrong. I feel like it's coming across like I'm bashing it. I am not. I think everything is beautiful and seamless. And everything is very simple in its complexity. I think that's just a testament to the amazing cinematography of Roger Deakins. These long choreographed panning shots, these long takes, or what appears to be really long takes. It looks easy, it looks simple. When you know in the back of your mind, it's one of the most complicated and hardest things you could do as a cinematographer. In my opinion, in any profession, if you make it look easy, that means you are a master of your craft. I also like the subtlety of these characters. These are just 2 random soldiers who are journeying over what used to be German-occupied land. And so you know in the back of your mind, oh god, things can go wrong in an instant. I know, I've seen so many World War I and World War II films to know better. And I like that they don't dramatize the entrances of these bigger name actors. When Colin Firth or Benedict Cumberbatch or Mark Strong comes on screen, it's not like a dramatic zoom into their face for us audiences to go, oh, okay, here are the stars, here are the celebrities in the film. When Mark Strong shows up, we see his boots for like 3 to 5 minutes before we actually see his face. And then when we actually do see his face, he's way off in the background. You can barely make him out. Of course, if you know his voice, you know that it's Mark Strong, but they don't linger on the celebrity. They don't linger on the name of the actors. These are just soldiers. These are people who are in this story, and I like that. I know when the nominations came out for the Oscars this year, and 1917 was among the names for Best Picture, I had it pegged to win, just because all of the positive reviews and all of the amazing cinematography and visual effects achievements. I'm like, this is probably the shoo-in for it. I wouldn't say shoo-in, because really I think any film in the category of Best Picture this year could have won it. It could have had an argument for winning it. My inner gut told me that Parasite may win, but I guess I just wasn't thinking that the Academy was as progressive enough to award Best Picture to a foreign film, but thank God they did, because that film was amazing. At the core of this film, is it anything different from any other war film that we've seen before? No, not really. I mean, it's about heroism. It's about soldiers journeying over a scary, terrified landscape, and I feel that we've seen that before. I think this film, though, is a magnificent achievement in the whole idea and concept of this thing called film, and I think it definitely should be watched, and it's spectacular. I'm gonna give 1917 4.5 out of 5 Blu-rays.
It's good. It's good. It's good.
Alright everyone, now comes my favorite part of my videos, where I pick which movie I'm going to be watching next, and the next video coming up, it needs to come from one of the recommendations that I received, and one of the recommendations I received was a PayPal donation from Rusted Beetle. He and his wife are the only ones who are using the PayPal donation option on my channel, and so when you do that, I'm going to move your recommendation to the front of the line. They actually sent me quite a few. Thank you so much, Mr. and Mrs. Rusted Beetle. I can't thank you enough of that amazing donation that you sent me. I think you're crazy for supporting me, but if I'm delivering something that you love, I can't fault you for wanting to help support me, and I'm forever humbled, and I just thank you all so much. The first recommendation that they sent me was a film called Pieces of April, which is a film that I've never seen before. They said they watch it ever since it came out. They watch it every year for Thanksgiving, which is my least favorite holiday, so we'll see how this goes. Of course, if any of you do have recommendations, you can comment below this video or go to my Facebook page, my Instagram, or my Twitter. You can leave a recommendation there, and if I have access to it, I will watch, review it, and give you a shout on the channel. Or if you want to dethrone Mr. and Mrs. Rusted Beetle as the champions of the PayPal donation option, and if you want your recommendation done as quickly as I possibly can do it, you can click on the donate button on the main page of my YouTube channel. Any size donation will do. Just attach your movie with your donation, and I will get your review done and published as quickly as I possibly can. So guys, if you've seen 1917, what did you think about it? Do you think it should have won Best Picture at the Oscars? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know what you thought about it. And as always, if you like what you see here, if you like my take on movies, then hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell so you know the next time I'm releasing my next movie review. So guys, I will see you next time with my review of Pieces of April. So in the meantime, be well, be good to each other, and go watch a movie. Take care, guys.